You destroy their houses, they become Hamas out of anger. So if you really want peace in that region, two-state solution is the best solution. I have seen women who are treated as sex objects or childbearing machines or slaves of men. My father died. I begged, pleaded, but government didn't allow me to go there to see my father only for 2 days. You know, the Sheikh Hasina is crying for her father because her father was killed, but she didn't care for my father. When my father was dying, she didn't allow me to see him in his last days. But anyway, I love cat. Okay.
Even I'm fond of cats.
You know, she's from Kolkata.
Okay.
Actually,
What's her name?
Meenu.
You were born into an Islam family, but you talk about reforms in Islam. I was very curious to understand, how does one bring reforms into any religion, not just Islam, into any religion, and on what basis do we bring that reform?
Because their breeding grounds are created by the leaders of Muslim states, so that we see Hamas, we see terrorists, we see Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all kinds of Boko Haram, all Al-Shabaab, all kinds of terrorist organization and Islamist organization who are against freedom of expression, who are against democracy, who are against women's equal rights, who are against human rights.
This is a brand new episode of Wassup Aabir Podcast. Joining me today in conversation is somebody जिनके लिटरली वर्क का, मतलब जिनके राइटिंग्स का की चर्चा मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा सुनी है, फ्रॉम माई फादर, फ्रॉम माई फ्रेंड्स, फ्रॉम अ लॉट ऑफ रिलेटिव्स, स्पेशली बंगाली राइटिंग. बट टुडे आई हैव दिस बुक इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी. दिस इज कॉल्ड बर्निंग रोजेज इन माई गार्डन. ये किताब लिखी है मैडम नस्लीमा तसरीन ने. सॉरी, ये फर्स्ट पेज में लिखा हुआ है वेयर द जेस वाटर सेज कि आई थॉट शी इज नस्लीमा तसरीन, देन आई गॉट टू नो दैट ओह सॉरी, शी इज तस्लीमा नसरीन. वेलकम टू ABP Live Podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much.
Let's start with your journey. It has been a very interesting journey for a lot of people who trace your biography. Where were you born? How was your childhood? If you don't mind sharing a bit of it.
I was born in Mymensingh,
in Bangladesh.
a town in Bangladesh, near capital city Dhaka. I was my childhood, my adolescence, my youth, I spent in Mymensingh. I studied in Mymensingh School, College, and Medical College, and then I became a doctor.
Yes.
And then I was transferred to Dhaka, and I worked as a medical doctor in Dhaka hospitals, Dhaka Medical College Hospital. Before I quit my job, I did that because the government wanted to control my writings. They said that you are a medical doctor, you are working in a government hospital, so you don't have any right to publish anything you want. So first show us your articles or whatever you write for magazines and newspapers, then we will tell you whether you should have the right to publish those. Then I quit my job.
That is so wrong, because for any writer, if somebody scrutinizes your work, it feels bad.
Of course. And I wanted my total freedom to write whatever I like to write. Actually, I was very critical of some culture, customs, religions that are against women. So anti-women culture, customs, and of course religion. And also I was critical of government. You know that I wrote a book titled Lajja.
Lajja.
There I criticized government for not giving enough security to minority community in Bangladesh. So government was not happy. government was not happy when I wrote that we don't need any laws based on religion because women are oppressed because of religion, religious laws. So we need laws based on justice or equality.
If somebody gives you a chance to go back into nostalgia or to visit your childhood memories in Bangladesh, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? कैसा था? कैसे थे बचपन के दिन?
बचपन के दिन. You know, I have written 7 books of my autobiography. And those were published in Bengali, some were published in English, some were in Hindi. Actually, in Hindi, I think that all my autobiographical
Content.
books were published in Hindi. And some were in Marathi, some were in Malayalam, some were published in different languages. But in Bengali, those are available.
True.
And I have written everything, what happened in my life, and not only in my life, what happened in the society and state. You know, one of my memoirs was banned in West Bengal for a while, and after 2 years, actually, Kolkata High Court lifted the ban on the book. Now it is available.
But why do you think that happened? Why does any specific government will ban your autobiography? If it's reality, it should never be banned.
Yeah, it should not be banned. You know, no book should be banned.
True.
Even if it is not reality, if it is imaginary, some writers they have imagination and they write books on basis of their imagination. Those books also should not be banned.
True.
But it is very unfortunate that in the subcontinent, many governments, they are against freedom of expression. They talk about democracy, but freedom of expression is a very important pillar of democracy. But they are against freedom of expression. I have been living in exile for 30 years. Why? Because I don't have any right to live in my own country, because I was thrown out of my country because I express my views which are different than most of the people's views. So they cannot tolerate the different views. And my views are different from the extremists, Islamic extremists and fundamentalists and jihadists. So that I was not allowed to live in a country where 90% or more than 90% people are Muslims. So it's very unfortunate, especially in Muslim countries, hardly any government believes in freedom of expression. But freedom of expression, we must have. If we want to create a civilized world or civilized country, we must have freedom of expression.
True. It's been 30 years now.
30 years.
30 years. Do you see any change, any positive change?
No, not at all, not at all. People are becoming more and more religious, more and more fundamentalist, more and more Islamist. Some people now in Bangladesh want to go to Palestine to fight against Israel. And if they said that if they die there, they would not mind. It's very strange. It's because the Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, even though she says that she supports secularism, but she built so many mosques and madrasas, and those are the breeding grounds for Islamists. So if you are against jihadists, you kill jihadists, fine, but you are creating, you are building all the breeding grounds for jihadists. So it's not good. So also that she promised that she would change the constitution, she would go back to the secular constitution, which we had secular constitution in 1972. But she didn't. Still, the state religion is Islam. If you have a state religion, then the particular religion, if you have that state religion, if you consider that particular religion is your state religion, then that than the other people, the people of different religions, of different, having different faith, would be treated as second-class citizen or third-class citizens. It's actually happening in Bangladesh, in Pakistan. Hindus, Buddhists, Christians are treated as second-class citizens. Now so Puja Utsav is going on, Durga Puja in Bangladesh, and already some authorities declared that they should not have any dance or music. What would they do? It's their festival. They should dance, and they should sing whatever they like. You cannot impose your rules on them. How to celebrate, how they should celebrate their puja. You cannot do that. Sure. It's country is becoming more and more fundamentalist. So this kind of thing is happening. But when we were growing up, not even during Pakistan era, we didn't see this much fundamentalism or this much communalism in Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is getting economically well, but not actually. If you want to have women's equal rights or human rights or minority rights, still it is in the backyard of modern society.
Okay. You have been served a lot of fatwas.
Yeah.
This may sound like a funny question to you, but do you remember the first fatwa that was?
Yeah, of course. People actually remember the thing that happened first time, no?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was in 1993. I think it was October or November.
In Dhaka.
Actually, it was in Sylhet that fatwa was issued against me. Whoever, kill me, or that he or she would get 50,000 Bangladeshi taka. That actually they put price on my head, and 50,000 taka is not a big amount of money, but in a poor country, for poor people, it was quite a big amount of money. They could do that. But anyway, in whole country there was a big processions and rallies against me. They wanted my execution by hanging because I critically scrutinized Islam, and they didn't like it. People didn't like that. And then instead of taking action against those fatwabas, mullahs, or instead of taking action against those Islamists and jihadists who wanted to kill me, government filed a case against me on the charges of hurting religious feelings of people. It was in 1993. Then I had arrest warrant was issued, and I had to go into hiding, and no, not in exile, in hiding in Bangladesh. And then I was granted a bail, and then I was forced to leave my country. Since then, I was not allowed to go back to my country. So it was 30 years. I have been living in exile. I first lived in many years in Europe, and then in United States of America, and then I moved to Kolkata because of the language. It was, I love Bengali language so much, and I wanted to live in a Bengali environment because I am a Bengali writer.
True.
So I started living in Kolkata, and I was so happy, but after 3.5 years, I was thrown out of West Bengal. I am a Bengali writer, and I don't have any right to live in Bengal. And my many books were banned in Bangladesh. One book was banned in West Bengal, and then I told you, the High Court, Kolkata High Court lifted the ban on my book.
Yeah. But you miss those days, right, when you get to interact with your language readers.
Wow, that I miss. Now I go to Bengali market here to buy fish, and then I talk with them in Bengali.
So cool. Yeah.
And some very few friends of mine speak Bengali, so I speak Bengali. But it is different.
My Bangla is not that great. I guess your Hindi is not that great. That is the reason we mutually decided to stick to what Britishers gave us, English. let's talk about this book now. Burning Roses in My Garden. This is a collection of a lot of poetries which you have written, right?
Oh, I have written many poems, and I started writing poems actually when I was 13 years old, and I edited a poetry magazine when I was 17 only.
Oh, baapre.
And then I continued editing and publishing that poetry magazine. But then I when I was in medical college, it was not possible to continue that, publishing that magazine.
Okay.
But I was involved in many kind of cultural activities or literary activities, kind of published college magazine, like that. And then after I became a doctor, then my first poetry book was published. That was in 1986. And then in 1989, my second poetry book was published, and that was very popular. So all the newspapers editors and magazine editors asked me to write columns for them. Then I started writing columns. Then I was thinking, what should I write? Because I am a poet, I write poetry, and it was my kind of, love for the literature. It was not that I never thought that I would be a professional writer, because I was busy in hospital treating
And that's a full-time
patients.
job.
Yeah, that was full-time job. And when I used to get a little bit time, I used to write. And when I was in gynecology department at 2 o'clock or 2:30 a.m., when I got a little time, I used to write column because I have to submit my columns. But that gave me little money.
Did you
and
get
that was
a lot of
inspiration
from that time, that age, when you were a doctor?
Yeah, because I started writing when I was very young.
Yes.
And at that time, of course, I got experience a lot. I was
A lot of stories around you,
lot
right?
of lots of female patients. They come with lots of stories at home, and I learned all those how women have been suffering. So when they asked me to write columns regularly, I started writing about women's suffering, how they get oppressed in this patriarchal, misogynistic society. Then my columns were very popular in Bangladesh because many women thought that I was talking
About
them. I was writing their stories. I was actually writing my stories. They said that you are writing our stories. Then they just told me that not to stop writing because that gave them strength.
It is like somebody is voicing their heart.
Yeah, and those actually those columns. Some of the columns actually. A book of my columns, Nirbachita column, that got first Ananda Puraskar award, Ananda award in West Bengal. I came to Kolkata to get that Ananda award.
Wow.
That ABP newspaper.
And today we are sitting in an Ananda studio.
And I got another Ananda award. It was the most prestigious award for Bengali language or for Bengali literature. This is the most prestigious award, and I was the first person from Bangladesh got that award.
Oh wow!
And
by Anandabazar Putrika.
Anandabazar Putrika's award, that Ananda award, Ananda Puraskar.
So cool.
Then I got first in 1992, and then I got another award, another Ananda award in 2000 for my first part of my autobiography, Amar Meye Bela, my girlhood. And then I continued writing columns, and then publishers gave me huge amount of money, advance royalty, because my columns are so popular, my books were sold so well, so they gave me money. I said that no, I'm busy in hospital, I cannot write books. I never wrote any novel, but they said no, write a novel, whatever you
And
like.
this was the
so
golden era of writing, right? Where everybody was reading books, magazine, newspaper.
Yeah.
It was not a digital era. per
No,
se.
not digital era, no mobile phone.
No mobile
we couldn't
phone.
think of mobile phone. It was beginning of 90s.
90s.
Then I wrote many novels, some novels, and I continued writing columns. So that money, advance royalty, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, I say, Hindi. and then I needed that money because I needed to buy an apartment for me, because no landlord actually was giving me any apartment to rent, because outside in the street 50,000 or so fundamentalists were demanding my execution by hanging. And they were so furious. If they knew where I lived, they would just, burn that house. So that landlords were afraid. They said, no, goodbye. Then I was looking for another apartment to rent. I didn't get any apartment to rent because I am Taslima, and everybody knew that fundamentalists wanted to kill me. So I didn't get an apartment. So that advance royalty helped me to buy an apartment.
Did the family suffer?
Yeah, a lot. My father's house was vandalized, and my sister lost her job. They were insulted, humiliated on the street.
I was reading about you some time back, and I felt so bad reading a particular line where it was written that you had to visit your parents, your mom and dad, but you couldn't visit them on their deathbed. You couldn't visit the country.
My father died. I begged, pleaded, but government didn't allow me to go there to see my father only for 2 days. The Sheikh Hasina is crying for her father because her father was killed. Her father was Prime Minister of Bangladesh, of new independent Bangladesh. She still is crying and doing everything for her father. But she didn't care for my father. When my father was dying, she didn't allow me to see him in his last days, So anyway,
I really wish. I'll confess something I was saying some time back. I can't read Bangla. I can speak Bangla. I can't read Bangla because I was not raised in Bengal, and if you see Bangla text on a regular basis, you tend to learn it. I never learned it. I never got to learn it from my dad or mom as well. But I really wish to learn it someday. I really wish to learn Bangla someday so that I can get exposure to all the literature work that is out there. Well, now I know you as well, so I really want to learn that as well.
Please
I really want to read that as well. But I want to read the original Bangla text, not the English translation. I know it has its own meaning. It also sets to a different audience. But original will always be original, and it will be more close to your heart rather than an English or Marathi or Hindi, any translation. So yeah, that is my confession to you. Let's talk about this book. When did you write this? What was the thought process in mind? ये poetries कैसे एक साथ?
कैसे हुआ? Actually, I should say that it is public, selected. The people who love my poems, they are not translators, they translated some poems and sent me all those poems.
Okay.
Emailed me poems. And then I have some quite, kind of piles of translations that readers send me. And then I send all those poems. It was not the system, the Penguin system. Penguin, I would give Penguin my Bengali manuscript.
Okay.
Penguin should choose a translator. That translator will translate my poems. That is the system.
Agreed.
But I sent all the poems that unknown people translated.
Wow.
I sent to J.C. Waters.
Wow.
And J.C. Waters
I have never heard this kind of a story where people are actually translating your
people
poem.
translated it. I didn't ask them to translate. They translated my poems out of love, and then if I chose the poems, maybe I would not have chosen those ones that public translated.
True.
The readers translated, I
Agreed.
should say. And then I knew J.C. Waters because when I was I used to give a lecture as a kind of scholar in different universities in USA. Then I met J.C. Waters in, I think that Elizabethtown College or Pennsylvania University in the USA, and he was a literature professor and he was himself as a poet. So I thought that okay, I sent to him, and he was so happy to edit all those, you know.
Does he know Bangla?
He doesn't know Bangla, but he edited
All
those
the
all the
translations.
translations.
Wow.
And then I asked because Penguin wanted to publish my poetry book anyway, so I said that one manuscript is almost ready. If you want to, if you are interested, then they are interested. They publish it.
So cool. Let's read something. Let's read
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Let's do one thing. You read the Bangla version, I'll
Yeah.
read the English one.
Okay. So I think that there is a poem which is a very 84.
Page 84. From country to carnation.
Okay, but my poem is
Yes.
Juddho. I will
Juddho.
read in Bangla.
Okay.
It's ওদের অস্ত্র আছে তাই যুদ্ধে নেমেছে, ওরা ধ্বংস ভালোবাসে তাই যুদ্ধে নেমেছে। তুমি আমি চলো চুম্বন করি ঠোঁটে, চলো মধ্যম আঙুল দেখাই যুদ্ধবাজদের, চুম্বনে সিক্ত হয়ে চলো তুমি আমি এক একটি দেশ হয়ে উঠি। তোমার নাম আজ থেকে রাশিয়া, আমি ইউক্রেন। তুমি যদি কিউবা, এল সালভাদর, নিকারাগুয়া, তুমি যদি পানামা, তুমি যদি ইরাক, আফগানিস্তান, আমি আমেরিকা। তুমি আজ ইসরায়েল, আমি ফিলিস্তিন। তুমি ভারত, আমি চীন। চলো চুম্বন করি আর মধ্যম আঙুল তুলে ধরি নৃশংসতার ধ্বংসস্তূপের দিকে। যত অস্ত্র আছে জগতে, যত পারমাণবিক বোমা, সব জড়ো করে একটি গভীর চুম্বনের সামনে কেউ দাঁড় করাতে পারবে না, হেরে যাবে। কোনো ভয়াবহ মারণাস্ত্র একটি সাদামাটা চুম্বনের চেয়ে শক্তিশালী নয়। চলো চুম্বন করি, চলো পরস্পরকে স্পর্শ করি ভালোবেসে। সন্তান জন্ম নিক আমাদের, সে সন্তানের নাম দেব পৃথিবী।
From country to carnation. They have weapons so that they start a war. They love to destroy, so they have started the war. Let's kiss and show the warmongers our middle finger. Wet with kisses, we each of us blossom into a country. Your name is Russia, me, Ukraine. It's not so insane. If you are Cuba, El Salvador, Nicaragua, you are Panama. If you are Iraq, Afghanistan, I'm America. You are Israel today, I'm Palestine. Carnation, Calla Lily, Yellow Columbine. I'm India, you China. Let's kiss. Let's tell barbarity and brutality to go fuck themselves. If you collect all the weapons of the world, all the nukes of the world, and put them against our national kisses, you will surely be a loser. One simple kiss, one petal is more powerful than the fucked off blood of anger of missiles. Let's kiss. Let's make love. Let's work hard to make it right. Our child will be born, and we will name this child Earth. Beautiful. Beautiful. In this world where we see a lot of violence, how does it feel to talk about peace, talk about harmony, talk about love?
We have to. We have to talk about love and peace, because that is the ultimate solution. And violence is not solution of any problems. So I'm against violence. I think then people, or peace-loving people, are all against violence. We don't like to see people are dying only because they have different religion or they have different languages. You know, this is very weird. This cannot happen in 21st century. We know that lots of wars, actually, the world saw lots of war, lots of death, lots of violence. But we should stop. We are dreaming to go to Mars. You know?
True.
So the science is so advanced now. So technology is so advanced. We cannot just think of, killing each other because of different religions, because of different ideology. It's so barbaric and it's so past.
True.
It's so uncivilized. We should work to build a civilized world where no people would suffer because of their differences.
Yes.
And where no women will suffer because they are women. No, there should not be any. There should be equality between men and women. But still, we are talking about civilization. But there are so many countries where women are not considered as human beings. And children are suffering, and also animals. I have a cat, and I love that cat.
I really want to read about this.
She's
Cat
20
makes
years
so
old.
better relatives. Humans rob and leave, but not cats. They will wait in the yard until you return. They wait. If you blindfold them, leave them past the river, they will sniff their way back to you. Relatives are not the same. When I opened my eyes after birth, I was met with a crowd of them. Whiskers, breasts, eyes, pawing at my newness. I never chose who I wanted as relatives.
I didn't know why they put that in the back page.
But I really loved
on the
it.
cover. I have no idea. It's not my decision.
Okay, but I really
anyway,
loved
I
it.
love cat. Okay.
Even I'm fond of cats.
Yeah.
They're beautiful creatures.
And she's from Kolkata.
Okay.
Actually,
What's her name?
Meenu.
Meenu.
She was in a Goriahat Machli Bazaar, and then I took her just to give her some food and then say goodbye. But no, I couldn't. 20 years have passed, and she's still with me, and she's like my daughter.
Wow. So cool.
Cat mom.
Cat mom. That's the correct term, I feel. You were born into an Islam family, but you talk about reforms in Islam. I was very curious to understand, how does one bring reforms into any religion, not just Islam, into any religion? And on what basis do we bring that reform?
Everything is evolved. Everything should be evolved, and all other religions evolved. All other religions reformed, Christianity, once upon a time, Christianity was so brutal. Whoever said that, whoever had any suspicion about existence of God, they were murdered by church, Spanish Inquisition. Now it is Islamic Inquisition is going on. Whoever questions the Quran or Hadith, he or she from Muslim community is in danger. I was in danger. But we have to ask questions. The problem is when you say that you must not ask questions. When I was asking questions, when I was a child, my mother said, don't ask questions. This is a big problem, Actually, no child was born as a religious child. No, I was not Muslim when I was born. I didn't have any religion. You didn't have any religion. Your parents told you to practice Hinduism. My parents told me to practice Islam. Actually, my parents didn't tell me. My mother maybe told me, but my father was an atheist.
Okay.
So he didn't practice any religion. He was a doctor. He believed in science. He was a very, he had scientific temper. So I was actually influenced by him. I didn't practice any religion, but my mother asked me to read the Quran. And I read the Quran, but I asked questions. I said that why do I need to read the Quran in Arabic? Arabic is not our language. We don't understand Arabic, but we have to read it. Can't Allah know the other languages? So my mother told me that you must not ask, you must not talk about Allah, this way, Then if you say bad about Allah, and then your tongue would fall off. I was very curious. I was 8 years old then. I said all the bad things about Allah in the bathroom and closed the door of my bathroom and said, and I was waiting my tongue to fall off, and it didn't. But anyway, that was a childhood story. But I was asking questions. I read the Quran in Bengali. I read all the hadiths that, what Prophet Muhammad said, all are in hadith. Then I found lots of inequalities and injustices against women. And whoever questions, whoever critically scrutinizes Islam, or whoever disbelieves Islam, they should be tortured, they should be killed. But okay, that was in 7th century, when people were barbaric, okay. But now in 21st centuries, how come that if I am critical of Islam, then I would then Islamists decide that I should be killed, and they killed so many people. There were so many atheist bloggers in Bangladesh, and they were hacked to death. They were killing. A few days ago, a French teacher was killed by an Islamist Chechen terrorist. This is happening everywhere in the world. I think that they should stop it. It is time to stop. Actually, it is not the time to stop. It was actually time is past.
Time has already passed.
What I am saying, that Hinduism is evolved. Once upon a time, before 1956, when Hindu Act was imposed. Before that, a man could marry, as many girls they wanted, 100, thousands, but not now. But women didn't get any property from their parents or from their fathers, but now they get equally. They share the property rights equally with their brothers. But, and also in Christianity, so much changes, so much positive changes, and the religion is so much evolved. No laws, personal laws or family laws are based on religion anymore. Not no, Jewish people do not follow they believe in their religion, but the state, they separated state and religion strictly. This is called secularism. You have to separate state and religion. There no law should be based on religion. But in Muslim countries, because Islam is not reformed, because the leaders of the Islamic world are still very conservative, very fundamentalist, or to get votes from the ignorant masses, so they use religion for their own interest. So that we see that Islam is everywhere, in the society, in school, in in the curriculum, in a state, the laws are based on Islam. So all religions are against women. So women are oppressed because of religion. So that Muslim women still are wearing burqas, still they don't have the right to go out of the house and get education or get kind of economical or financial independence. They still do not have that freedom to do whatever they like to do. So this is happening because religion is not reformed or is not evolved yet. But if it is evolved, if people keep this religion, okay, it is my personal belief, and the state and society and education must be freed from religion, then you will see the changes in Muslim countries. Then we will see the equality between men and women. We will see that women get educated and independent. So this is very urgently necessary in Muslim countries, because their breeding grounds are created by the leaders of Muslim states, so that we see Hamas, we see terrorists, we see Al Qaeda, ISIS, all kinds of Boko Haram, all Al Shabaab, all kinds of terrorist organization and Islamist organization who are against freedom of expression, who are against democracy, who are against women's equal rights, who are against human rights.
Do you feel this is the sole reason why we are seeing these kind of wars around us? Maybe like Israel-Palestine?
Israel-Palestine is mostly about that their land problem.
Right.
It's not, I don't think that it is basically religious problems, because in Palestine
But that
there will
land is
be
all like
there are Christians also.
Agreed.
Hanan Asrafi was a secretary of Yasser Arafat. She was very much for Palestine, and she is Christian. They were Christian. Edward Said, who was the writer, who was Palestinian writer, was very much against freedom of Palestine. He was a Christian. You would find there are lots of people who are for Palestinian freedom, because two-state solution is the best solution there. You cannot just, those refugees, you destroy their houses, they become Hamas out of anger. So if you really want peace in that region, two-state solution is the best solution. Otherwise, I think that there will be always problems.
I'm glad you said that. Let me come back to the book again. In the very first page, it reads, "Have I not, having kept a man for years, learned that it's like raising a snake? So many animals on this earth. Why keep a man of all things?" Why so?
It's this is not written by me. I don't know who wrote. Probably J.C. Waters or from Penguin Editors.
Okay.
And it is a part of my poem from a poem.
Okay.
Okay. So I have seen women who are treated as sex objects or childbearing machines or slaves of men. So seeing those women suffering, sometimes I write that why do you need to live with your oppressor? I think that women are the only in the animal world. I think women are the only the species that who live with their killers closely and love, lovingly, and who taking care of their killers. But in the animal world, you will not find any female animal live with their killers. If any woman get killed, if women get, you would find that they get killed by their close relatives, either husband or boyfriend.
We have gone to a pretty
and
deep
also,
level of conversation.
or by their brothers, honor killing, or by their fathers. No. So women, if you see that, actually that is the most women are victim of domestic violence a lot, much more than that women get harassed or humiliated or killed by or raped by outsiders. Women are raped by every day by their husbands, but marital rape is not recognized in many countries.
True. On that note, I'll move to my last question. What are the 3 misconceptions you think everybody has about Taslima Nasreen? Or
There are many.
Let's go to 5.
They first say, I am against men. But I am not against men. There are so many love poems. So much love for men you will find in many poems. I am against the patriarchal system. I am against the misogyny that exists in patriarchal system. Okay. And
Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2, mostly Islamists and jihadists say that I am destroying the family system because the girls or women are influenced by me and they do not like to be like, be like slaves of men, and they want to get strength and they want to get equality. And the family system means women would be submissive. Women do not want to be submissive, so that there is a divorce is increasing because of me. They said, I said that of course the women should divorce their abusive husband. Abusive relationship is not good for health, mental health or physical health. But anyway, another complaint, some people say what? That you tell me.
I don't know. I am nobody to comment, I feel. I just look at the literature and I feel it's amazing. So, I really love the literature you have written.
The two, and another complaint is I am against Islam. And I think that I should have the right to be critical of anything which is against freedom of expression, against human rights or women's rights.
So primarily you are
So
not against
they said that
Islam?
I hurt religious feelings of people. I think that nobody should have the right to live their entire life without their feelings not being hurt. Our feelings are hurt every day. So we know how to cope with that. Those people who complain that I hurt their religious feeling, they should learn how to cope with this hurt feelings. They are adult. So there are so many, even in the subcontinent, government file cases against so many intellectuals and writers and activists complaining that they hurt religious feelings of people. Of course, religious feeling should be hurt if it is necessary. So these laws, 295A, B, C, the British created that Indian Penal Code or Bangladesh Penal Code or Pakistan Penal Code, 295A. C exists only in Pakistan, which is death penalty. If you hurt religious feelings of people, you would be killed by state. But in Bangladesh and India, 295A and B exists, it means that you don't have any right to hurt anybody's religious feeling. British created that law, I think, that to have a communal harmony, that you should not hurt. But now it is used against humanists and atheists. I didn't hurt other communities' religious feelings. Means I told the truth. Whatever I found in Islam, I have said that. So Muslims accuse me of hurting their religious feelings, but I, as government filed a case against me using that 295 AAB Bangladesh Penal Code, and this law is against freedom of expression, and this law must be gone from India, from Bangladesh, from Pakistan.
On that note, I guess this is towards the end of this podcast. Let's read one more poetry if you don't mind. Whatever is your favorite. Acha, before that, who were you reading when you were growing up?
Wow, I read all the writers. Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chatterjee, Sharat Chandra Chatterjee, Chattopadhyay. You know Chattopadhyay then.
Banerjee is Bangopadhyay, Chatterjee is Chattopadhyay, Mukherjee is
Mukhopadhyay. So all the writers. So Kolkata is so favorite city of mine. I knew everything before going there because I read the novels. And I grew up reading all the Bengali writers.
Any favorite Robindra Sangeet if you have?
Wow. Ami Kaan Peteroi. Do you know how to sing?
I can, but I don't know this song. I don't know this. Like, I can sing a few.
Amar Sonar Bangla, Bangladesh's national anthem.
Only person in the world to write national anthem for 3 countries.
3 countries, Sri Lanka,
Sri Lanka
Bangladesh.
Doesn't acknowledge it, although, but India and Bangladesh do acknowledge it.
In India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. 3 countries, 1 person written the national anthem for 3 countries. Wow. What a legacy he has.
Great.
What a legacy he has.
He is Bengali.
True.
And I'm very proud of Bengali, Rabindranath Tagore. And I love his songs most.
Okay.
And his
Any favorite Rabindra Sangeet?
Ami Kaan Peteroi, Fagun Hawai. There are many. Actually, he wrote so many songs. You need those when you are sad. You need those when you are happy. You need those for everything.
When the festivals are changing, you need those songs. You need those
every
songs
season,
when there is a festival.
Yeah.
Every season, every festival, every day of life, every emotion, there is a song by Rabindranath Tagore.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Now let's read something from your writings.
In English or Bengali?
Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
Okay. Then I would read a favorite poem. Okay. Just let me find it.
No problem.
Okay. 94. I read it in English.
Sure.
They said, take it easy. Said, calm down. Said, stop talking, shut up. They said, sit down, bow your head. Said, keep on crying, let the tears roll. What should you do in response? You should stand up now. Should stand right up, hold your back straight, hold your head high. You should speak your mind, speak it loudly, scream. You should scream so loud that they must run for cover. They will say, you are shameless. When you hear that, just laugh. They will say, you have no moral character. When you hear that, just laugh louder. They will say, you are rotten. So just laugh even louder. Hearing you laugh, they will shout, you are a whore. When they say that, just put your hands on your hips. Stand firm and say, yes, I am a whore. They will stare in disbelief. They will wait for you to say more, so much more. The men amongst them will turn red and sweat. The women amongst them will dream to be a whore like you.
On that note, it was a wonderful poetry and it was a wonderful conversation with you. I really enjoyed every bit of it. I really wish that your vision, your thoughts goes to many people around the world and they get empowered from your writing and from your thoughts. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
having this conversation with me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.